Hey everyone, I wanted to shoot a real quick video for you guys to give you some ideas of what you can do if you don't have a lot of equipment right now with not having gym access. Probably didn't anticipate that happening. Probably don't have a nice, well-stocked garage gym or home gym to be able to do your normal workouts. So, as you might have seen on my channel here on my Instagram, I've been trying to give you guys a bunch of ideas of what you could do with household items. And I kind of just wanted to wrap that all into one concise video to show you a bunch of the ideas that I have as far as what kind of weights you can use around your house or what you can use for weights. As you can see behind me, this is literally my home gym here, if you want to call it a home gym. It's just a few dumbbells, I've got a pull-up bar over there, I've got bands back here, and bikes and all that kind of stuff. But I don't have a squat rack, I don't have a barbell, I don't have adjustable dumbbells or a bunch of kettlebells or anything like that. So I've just been having to make it work with what I have, and a lot of that is kind of combining maybe the dumbbells with the resistance bands, or combining the resistance bands with a backpack or a weighted vest or something like that. So if you guys don't have a lot at home, here's some household items that I've put together that you might have that you could use when doing some of your at-home workouts. So the first thing that I would suggest you get, or if you have it already, that's great, is a water jug. So this is 5 gallons. Each gallon of water is about 8 pounds. This is about 40 pounds of resistance. You can do a bunch with this. You can hold it sort of in a goblet style, if you want to call it goblet, kind of like this. You can hold it in a Zercher style like this, and you can do things like squats. You can do things like RDLs or good mornings. You could use this as like a dumbbell deadlift like this. All kinds of things you could do with a water jug, and it's pretty heavy. If you have 2 of them, then you're really kind of cooking with grease, so to speak. You could do deadlifts with those like they were 40-pound dumbbells or kettlebells or something like that. It's pretty versatile since it has, most of them have this handle on it. There's a lot of things you could do with it. So that's the first thing that I would suggest that you try to get your hands on. They're pretty inexpensive to have around. Second thing, everybody has one of these, most likely. If you don't, you could probably find a backpack at Walmart or Amazon if you don't want to go anywhere. But next time you go to the grocery store for your grocery run, you might want to pick up a bag or a backpack like this. And what you can do with this, obviously, is load it up with something heavy. Things like books. Books can get really heavy if you load them up with enough. Right now I have 3 really big books in here that are giving me a little bit of resistance. And what you do with this, just put it on like you normally would any backpack. And now you've got yourself almost like a weighted vest, except it's only on your back. And you can do squats, you can do lunges, you can do RDLs, you could do a whole bunch of different kind of things. With the backpack on, you could just wear it to give you some more resistance while you're doing your workouts, while you're going throughout your day, things like that. While you're going around for a walk, because the name of the game right now is just to sort of keep our energy expenditure up, whether that's taking walks, whether that's getting those home workouts in, or whatever the case may be. If you happen to have a weighted vest like I do, that's an even better option, because usually these are loaded up for up to 40-50 pounds. I think this one goes to 40 pounds that I have. So this is a Run Max adjustable weighted vest. So these sort of come apart here. If I wanted to make it lighter, I just take out one of these. If I wanted to make it heavier, I put it back in. And I've been able to use this, basically just wearing this while I do my workouts, especially for lower body lifts. So if I'm trying to get a lot of resistance on my legs, if I wear the weighted vest, that's just an extra 40 pounds that I'm carrying around that I'm going to be doing lunges or split squats with, on top of the dumbbells that I'll be using and the resistance bands that you could be using. And just like the backpack, you can use it when you're going on walks. It increases your caloric burn. You could even wear it throughout the day as you're doing your normal everyday stuff to kind of just increase your metabolic rate a little bit while you're doing normal things. And if you don't have any of those 2 things, if you don't have a backpack and you don't have a weighted vest, you could just get some reusable bags, or even just any kind of bag for that matter, but reusable bags are a little bit tougher and they can hold a little bit more weight. And the same concept can be had with the backpack. You just load these up with books. I got a couple books in here, and you can do things with them, you know, like curls or overhead extensions. If you wanted to do lunges with them, you just kind of have to wrap them around your hand a little bit to do lunges. You could put them in a front rack position like so, to be doing things like squats or rear foot elevated or anything like that. So those are a good option for you. And if you're looking for things that are going to give you a little bit more weight as opposed to just books, because maybe you're really strong, you need more weight than just what books can give you, you can pick up something like some bricks. So if you live in a house especially, you might have some bricks around your property for landscaping or something like that. I happen to have some really heavy bricks that were used to make a fireplace, and they're not mortared together or anything, so I can just take them apart a little bit and then replace them when I'm done, and I'll show you those. So I've got these right here, which are pretty heavy. I'm not exactly sure how heavy they are, but I could go ahead and get one of those reusable bags once again, put it in there, along with some books, or just have a couple of these bricks in there. And now I've got myself something a little bit heavier to be doing things like curls, to be doing things like goblet squats, right? So the name of the game is just improvising, once again, with what you have, and the bricks are nice for that. To do things like rear foot elevated split squats, you might have seen on the videos I've been putting out, I've been using an outdoor chair. The important part with that is just to find an apparatus that is low enough to the ground so that your rear foot is at a comfortable height, so that when you do squat down, you're not having this like super tough stretch in the front of your hip, or you're not able to maybe hit the ground with your back knee when you're doing those. So if you have a low to the ground chair, like an outdoor chair, that's nice. My indoor chairs are a little bit taller, so those don't really work for me. But you could also get something, you know, like a box maybe that you have lying around that you could use. You could stack up some bricks. You could get a 5-gallon bucket. You could use the water jug. Basically anything you want with that. And for a bench press, you might have seen that I've been using an ice chest. So that ice chest that I've been using is low enough to the ground. It's about the height of what a normal bench is anyways if I were to go to the gym. So that allows me to do things like bench presses with a full range of motion. If I want to do some banded stuff with it, I'll just get some like pieces of wood or bricks, put them underneath the ice chest itself, so that way it's elevated off the ground and creates a gap on the bottom between the ground and the ice chest, so that I could wrap the little resistance band underneath, and that gives me a little bit of clearance to be able to adjust those back and forth and then do some pressing or whatever it is that I'm going to be doing. And last but not least, if you can pick up, or you already have some resistance bands, those are really good. Obviously, they only provide so much resistance, and the one downfall to resistance bands is that they don't have a lot of resistance in the bottom of the lift, because the shorter they get, the less resistance they have, but they can really overload the top of the lift, and depending on how you wrap the bands, you can really get a lot of resistance out of them. I've had some really tough lower body sessions where I have used my dumbbells, my weighted vest, and then put some bands on top of it, and to be honest with you, it felt just as heavy, if not heavier, than some of the stuff that I could do in the gym. Again, yes, I was missing out on that bottom end of the strength curve, or whatever you want to call it, bottom end of the lift, but I'm still overloading the top, I'm still stimulating my muscles, I'm still stimulating my nervous system enough to get that adaptation of semi-heavy lifting, definitely getting enough adaptation for hypertrophy to at least maintain the muscle that I have, if not grow muscle in the process. And so there's a bunch of different ways that you can use these. If you only have one of each kind, then you can wrap those under your feet like so. You can wrap this over the top of your head. You can also double them up in a way that you can do some RDLs or stuff like that. So if you step on it this way, now you've got some really strong tension to be able to do some like staggered stance RDLs, right? Some single leg RDLs, so on and so forth. So these are all really inexpensive. I mean, you can get some of these for pretty cheap. I think they're still available a lot of times online. A lot of you probably already have at least some resistance bands lying around your house, whether they're these kind, which are just basically long rubber bands, or maybe you're using those kinds that have handles on them already, which are usually a little bit less resistance, but can still provide a great workout if you use them correctly. So, bottom line is, guys, that you got to do whatever you can right now to stimulate the muscles enough to get that hypertrophy signal, to keep the muscle that you have, maybe grow some muscle now that maybe everything in your life is a little bit more ideal, because you're almost like in a self-experiment right now. Everything's kind of controlled because you're just at home. You can get as much sleep as you want because now you're cutting down on like commute time. If you're working still, then a lot of that time that you're spending working is really just that 8 hours now probably. If you're not working, first of all, I'm sorry that you're not able to work right now, but at least your life is kind of just in an ideal situation to make some gains as far as, you know, like sleep and having time is concerned. So one thing you don't want to be doing, I guess, is yes, you can get a lot of hypertrophy, you can get a lot of adaptation out of really high rep stuff, but the key to that is that the high rep stuff has to be taken to within a certain degree of failure, and it has to be intense enough for it to work for the purposes of hypertrophy and muscle retention. So if you're doing sets of 30, but those 30 reps are like really hard, like you don't even think you could have gotten another 2 or 3 reps, then yeah, that's going to work for you. That's going to be good. But if you're doing sets of 30, and it's like in a circuit style where you're just like doing it to burn calories, and your main goal is to build muscle or retain as much muscle as you can, that might not necessarily do the job for you. So that's why I keep putting out all of these videos for you guys to be able to use in your own home workouts, some ideas of what I've been using around my house to get that same simulate that same high intensity and high function workout. So hopefully you guys are able to see all the ideas I have here and put them into practice. I'm gonna keep trying to put out some videos for you guys as far as exercise demonstration is concerned. I really want you guys to stay active right now, and you know, at least if everything else isn't going right now, at least hopefully you can get some good workouts and feel good physically. So leave some comments, let me know what other kind of videos you'd like me to make, and keep lifting and have a great day.